My overall rating, we shall find. Yes. I'm weird as fuck, but anyway. What am I rating Yoda? If you don't know how this works, I did the same thing with M'Baku before, but in a nutshell, I'm gonna rate Yoda against appearance, backstory, role, character arc, relatability, and charisma. And then at the end, I'll give him an overall rating 2K style. But anyway, let's get to it. I want to specify we're talking about prequel Yoda here. So that's like, everything before episode 4, essentially. So Clone Wars, the animated series, and also, Phantom Menace, Clone Wars, whatever episode 2 is, and Revenge of the Sith, whatever episode 3 is. That movie, you know what I mean? Bias disclaimer, bro, I do not fuck with Yoda. Don't get me wrong, as a kid, it was cool seeing the little green dude jumping around fighting Palpatine, but like, I am not at all about him right now. And you'll find out why in this video if you keep watching. Yeah, no, it's fuck Yoda over here. Remember that. Alright, Yoda's appearance. I know I took out this category for the first video, but like, it's back. Don't ask me why. I won't lie. I'm gonna weight this at like an 8. I think like there was room for them to make him look like regular schmegular, but there was also like him being like the top dog. He kind of had to give like top dog energy, and they could do this one or two ways. We go like the braggadocious type motherfuckers. Think of like, just like the classic top dog, like I'm the king and I look like it type shit with all like the fancy swords and shit. Or you can go for like the classic, and they spam this shit in anime, by the way. Like the classic, like, oh, I'm really powerful, but you can't tell because like I'm a feeble old man type shit. That's what the Yodas, the Master Roshis, like the Neteros, those motherfuckers live in that little niche, bro. Like I'm old and frail, but really I could beat your motherfucking ass, boy. So I'm weighting this at an 8 because I feel like, Yoda definitely had to give us a little bit of sauce. Now as far as like what I'm rating it, I'm giving it a 7 because like obviously they do sell us this whole like, frail old man. He's got the cloak, the gray hair with the Stewie haircut, the Stewie shaped head too, by the way. On the real though, like they do a decent job with the whole, hermit thing, but in reality, it's nothing too crazy. I think a 7 is fair because you gotta go above and beyond for me to give you one of the higher marks. As far as Yoda's backstory, in terms of the weight, we kind of do have to know something about his backstory because we need to know why this is the motherfucker that's like at the top of the Jedi Order. You know what I mean? Like we gotta have to know what justifies his status. And they could do this one or two ways. Either by telling us like, yo, he was the last remaining Jedi in a mission that was supposed to go whack. And then he 1v9 the motherfuckers. Like either that or they keep it a mystery where like we know very little, but for whatever reason, other motherfuckers just like revere this dude. And like, I think that's kind of like what they went with. So really no backstory is a backstory in this sense. And so you would give him a 10 because they executed that well. But the reason I'm taking away 3 points, I'm giving him a goddamn 7. The reason for that is because you gotta read the fine print. It's backstory, desires, fears, and ideologies. When they started off, I bet the Jedi were, saints, all right? Like Saint Nick, Saint whatever. They were all Jesus. But somewhere along the way, especially when we watch the Clone Wars, you realize like the Jedi Order is not really what they used to be. And they become just like, a militia essentially, or like a military force. And so for that reason, I don't really think they're as righteous as the story oftentimes is trying to get you to believe. That's just propaganda. The Jedi are low-key backwards and corrupt. Maybe not corrupt, but I'm taking away 3 goddamn points from Yoda because you gotta get your ducks in a row, bro. This shit's kind of crazy. But I'm gonna weight his backstory at an 8 because we kind of needed them to do something with like the history of Yoda, and they did. Yoda plays like the head of the Jedi. He kind of plays like the antithesis, like the second side of the coin of like Palpatine, and we kind of needed that. It wasn't absolutely necessary. I can imagine a Star Wars world where the Jedi just have like the High Council and they serve as like the face of good, and for that reason I'm gonna weight Yoda's like role of being the wise elder of the Jedi at like an 8. It's fairly necessary, but it's not like crucial or absolute in any way. As far as how they executed it, this is where the hate comes out, bro. I'm giving this dude a 3. Bro, I don't give a fuck. Yoda is bad at his job. They bring this dude, Anakin goddamn Skywalker, from God knows where. Qui-Gon Jinn goes and picks up some random kid. Yoda's like, all right, bring him in. He realizes, yo, there's something about you, kid. I don't know, but you're giving off terrorist vibes. You're gonna blow this shit up. What does he do? He gives this man a max contract deal to come and kill everybody in this goddamn order. Where do you see that at? What's so frustrating as well, when you watch Clone Wars, you actually get to see that like there's so many different points. Yoda really should have caught on to the fact that, hey, something's not right with this Anakin kid, especially with him being groomed by the Chancellor. Like, I know y'all are close, but should y'all really be that close? Nobody asked that question. I'm on my Stephen A. Smith shit right now. Like,
and y'all don't have a problem with this? You just gonna let this slide?
Like, bro, these dudes were like joint at the goddamn hip, and I hope that's all they were joint by. It can get freaky in these parts. Let's be for real, Yoda had so many opportunities, so many times where he actually could like sense the dark energy. And I'm like, bro, like, how are you this bad at your job? And the one time where I actually feel bad for Anakin is when he starts to confide into Yoda. And I know, bro, Yoda's bullshit and you're wasting your time, but like Anakin doesn't know any better. Anakin goes and talks to Yoda to try and tell him like, yo, I'm feeling these things, like I'm scared to lose whatever. And Yoda gives him these cereal box ass like, you know, suggestions like, yo, you knew that he had the potential for great evil. I just need Yoda to do better. He 100% gets a 3 in this category, and I'm not sorry about it, bro. This dude is sorry. He's sorry. When it comes to character arc, we actually didn't really need Yoda to have an arc. Good guys, especially when they already start as good, like the mentor, the ones in the mentor role, rarely need to have an arc because they're already where, in terms of narrative, where we would want somebody to be because they always make the right decisions. But, you know, given that, like, you know, watching Clone Wars, we know that Order 66 happens, we would expect Yoda a little bit to be affected by, you know, what happened. I'm gonna weight this at a 3. When it comes to what I would rate the Yoda at, though, I'm a hater, but I'm not that much of a hater. I'll give him a 7.5. We do see him, like, you know, end up exiling himself to Dagobah. We do see him kind of like deal with the fact that he's failed, because he did fail. Let that be known. Yoda is bad at his. When it comes to relatability, the village elder archetypes, I don't think they're meant to be relatable. So like, I'm gonna weight this at a 1 because I don't really think anybody gave a fuck how much you could relate to this little tiny green goblin. You know what I mean? As much as it didn't matter, the rating is equally as shit. I'm giving him a goddamn 2. This dude did not feel human. It almost felt like asking ChatGPT what you should do. Oh, damn. Felt like asking ChatGPT, you know, my mom's beating me, what should I? Why is that where my mind went? What's an example of a tough decision that, you know, a human being would need to make? But like, he just gives you back these stupid ass, you know, run of the mill, I'm not human type bot NPC type answers. Relatability, I'm giving Yoda a 2, and I'm not really sorry about it. When it comes to charisma, it wasn't absolutely necessary for Yoda to have charisma. I do think he could have maybe gotten away with, you know, being a rather like sedated or flat personality like Dooku. But I think, at least for me, in terms of my taste, having him exude some kind of presence and charisma because he's held in such high regard and has this status was rather important. So I'm weighting it at an 8. Now, the rating, listen. You're not gonna find a bigger Yoda hater than me. But god damn it, credit where credit is due. Yoda, in terms of his charisma, hats off. Give this motherfucker a 10, bro. Like, it's crazy. Like, the backwards speech pattern thing, I don't know who in the boardroom came up with that idea. Give that man a raise. Give that man all your firstborn children. This dude actually came up with something that was actually pretty saucy. Like, I think in terms of pop culture, like the Yoda backwards speech shit, like, it definitely left its imprint. Yoda deserves his 10. He gets a dime in this category. But yeah, that's the last nice thing I'm saying about that dude, bro. Too bad it didn't matter. Overall, when you crunch the numbers, Yoda gets a goddamn 67. And I'm not sorry about it. This dude is trash. He's bad at his job. Hire me, man. I'm broke. You bet your ass Mace Windu and fucking, what's his name? Kiadi Mundi. Y'all can pack your bags with Yoda too. Anyway, this character is bogus. Let's just move on to the next one in the series.
Oh, you ready to handle all that the rain brings? No, them boys won't compare to you. When it's thunder clapping, it's gonna be some strange things. No, them boys won't compare to you.